What up, infidels? We are back in black, baby. Welcome, or back in brown, but back in brown. That's what we are, baby. Welcome back to Dangerous Brown Podcast. If you're here and you're new, welcome. This is just me ranting for an hour. This is the open mic podcast. This is for me to keep my podcast game sharp. And also just work out a lot of my bits because I realize I can just do that here instead of going to open mics because I got it like that, dude. I'm at that level comedically that I just kind of know what's kind of funny for me, and I just need to say the words out loud in new bits, and then boom, here we are. Dude, love it. Love it. Love being here. Love being here again. Thank you for joining us with me again, infidels. We are, the sleeper cell is small but mighty, as we like to say. A lot of stuff to maybe plug this week. Episode 2 of Stand-Up Breakdown. I am currently editing it. It's going a little slow because I'm also editing the sort of Instagram reel series that I'm doing with Jared Nathan, a comic with disabilities, called Special Report. Go ahead and check that out. Just dropped episode 2 today for me, so I guess yesterday for you if you're listening to this the day it dropped. So go and check that out on IG and or TikTok. So other than that, let's get started. Let's talk about what happened this week, what's been going on this week. It's Ramadan, baby. I'm out here Ramadaning in these streets. It's so funny, all right? So I come from like a privileged background, and it's so funny when I hear like people sort of in the circle of people that I grew up in, you know, this sort of privileged Muslim people, shit on poor people, and then also do Ramadan. Yeah, it's funny. It's so funny to call like people like who are like going through poverty lazy, when it's like, bro, you know what it's like to not eat for a month? Do you know how tiring that is? I'm day 3 right now. I'm dying. It always takes me a couple days to get used to it. But I'm day 3 right now, and I'm fucking tired. And it's just so funny to go through that experience and then still at the end think like, being poor is all their fault. All of it? To just go through this experience and learn nothing, I think is very peak human. Very peak human. Now, don't get me wrong. Poor people, super gross. But still, to not have a little empathy after going a month without eating, dude. I don't know how you could be thinking about like the Saudis. I don't know how you could be like a billionaire and be like a devout Muslim and just not, like the month of Ramadan, not just tear your soul apart. I can't, like, how does that, how? How do you not like be like, oh, this is what my servants are going through? Like but they don't. They don't. It's wild. It's like, because it's like, this is the same thing with Islam, Christianity. They're just people who don't really give a shit about being better people, but they just are like, well, if I check the right boxes or tick the right check marks or whatever, you know what? Check the right boxes, I'll get the brownie points with God I need to get into heaven. Right, where it's like, instead of being a good person, if I check enough things, that should be enough. I don't have to be all the way a good person. See, at least I don't pretend to be any sort of good Muslim. I'll say that. This is only my second year doing Ramadan, and I do it because it's like, the first year, I really did it last year, and I was like, oh, this is amazing. Man, I can hear my cats going through the trash outside. Oh my God. 4 minutes in, they know I'm not gonna stop the flow to go be like, get out of there. So here they are, being mischievous, being boys, dude. Boys will be boys, dude. Being mischievous now, and they know they have 40 minutes to just do what they want in the other room, and they'll get away with it. Sons of bitches. I'm making my cats do Ramadan. Can you? I get the Muslim cats, you know, make them do Ramadan. No food or water until the sun goes down. And they go, meow, meow, meow. They're crying. They're dying right now. But no. I'm trying to get them right with Allah. You think I'm going to have any heathen Christian cats in this house? No. I'm gonna have good Islamic cats. We're so hungry. Well, good. Now you know how poor street cats feel. I got them Muslim cats. Muslim cats. But yeah, dude, going through it. I will say this. My favorite part about Ramadan is I can just use it as an excuse to not do stuff I don't want to do. Someone invited me to a hike this week, and I was like, I'm sorry. Ramadan. I can't do it. I would love to. I can't think of anything more that I want to do than go hiking with you, guy I barely know. But I can't. It's Ramadan. It's just gonna be too. It's just Ramadan. You know, dude. So good, dude. The excuses are so good. I, Assad, I didn't finish too. Well, it's Ramadan. I don't. It's God will that only I come. And who are we to question Allah's plan for us? Especially on such a holy month, you know? Both those things based on a true story. Uh, just me bragging. Yeah, but dude, people out here learning lessons in self control. Yo, it's so because for those of you who don't know, you can't uh eat or drink between sunup and sunset. So no water. The no water is the toughest part. The no water is the toughest part. Eating is like whatever. I can just tell myself not to eat, but water is something that like you have to think about because it's something, at least for me, that you just do reflexively. Right, so I have a bunch of I'm a water bottle guy, right? So I have a bunch of water bottles around my room and stuff, and like I have to stop myself from like just grabbing one out of instinct. That's the most interest. That's to me the water is the most interesting part of the whole exercise. Obviously, it's that one more so than the food thing, right? Because the food thing that goes back to like when we were like plains people, we might not be able to find food, right? When we were like African Serengeti people and we had to like hunt. You know what I mean? Back early humans, like it might be a while before we got food. So that's not that tough. The water is what gets you. It's like, oh wow. And it's like 90 degrees in Texas today, so I'm definitely sweating. So that's gonna be its own little challenge. Is that like, oh yeah, I gotta figure out like just how to deal with not how to deal, just I guess how to deal. I just gotta, I gotta keep myself a little busy. What's crazy is that like my mom will just be working like 7-hour shifts as a dentist while fasting, and it's like, yo, that is girl bossing. That is bro. My mom is girl bossing Ramadan. That's how they should pitch, bro. If you wanna convert like internet white women to Islam, just get a bunch of videos of like women working during Ramadan and just be like, we're out here girl bossing Ramadan. Gatekeep, gaslight, girl boss, Ramadan. Yo, that's my pitch. That's my pitch. That's my pitch to like to convert white women. Just be like, yo, you think you're girl bossing, but have you done Ramadan? I don't think so. You ain't really girl bossing unless you're girl bossing on no water and no food, and you're living and you're that's a real Yas queen. You know? The dude, because I just think about like I don't do anything, right? So thank God I'm a comedian, but like I think that's also probably why fasting is a little tough because I don't do anything I don't do much during the day. It's just like editing and it's like staying home and it's like busy work, but it's not like a 9 to 5 sort of intensive job that keeps you in it. like mentally, like dentistry, you got to be in it mentally. So it's like, oh, okay, the day might kind of pass by, but it's still pretty crazy to work. Some people, some professional athletes play. Kyrie Irving is going to play basketball and do Ramadan. Dude, that's so girl boss. Yo, I don't care if you're a guy, if you if you're a dude and you work super hard during Ramadan, you're girl bossing the hell out of Ramadan, dude. That's any young Muslims listening to this. That should be a goal. You should be able to be like, yo, this what did I do this Ramadan? I girl bossed the hell out of it. I girl bossed the hell out of it. If you work during Ramadan like super hard, then you can and you shit on people and you shit on poor people. That's still girl bossing. That's like extra. That's white girl bossing Ramadan. God, they're just super poor people that are still doing Ramadan too. And it's just also just kind of their day, but with less water. That's so funny. That's so fucking crazy, dude. It's just there are people out there who are so poor that they can't eat. And then because they can't eat, they're just tired all the time. And then we just call them lazy. And then the only jobs we offer them are like these back-breaking labor, like intensive, hard labor jobs for minimum wage, dude. So funny. So funny that we do that to people. And then we say it's their fault. Oh, God. Don't get me wrong. There's definitely ways to dig yourself out of the hole, I guess. But still. That is funny that we do that. And then there's just no level of self-reflection of just like, maybe we've stacked the deck against them a little bit, huh? No. They're lazy. People who can't eat all day. Stop being lazy. How about this? Instead of eating, work work for minimum wage, and then choose, do you eat or does your family eat, you fucking pussy? But yeah, choose. Oh man. But yeah, we out here. I'm podcasting right now while doing Ramadan, so I'm also girl bossing Ramadan. If you're non-Muslim and anytime during this month, if you were like, maybe I should give fasting a day a try, and you try it, even if you can't do it, you've also girl bossed Ramadan. That's what I'm trying to do. We really what Ramadan needs is and what Muslims need, I think too, is we need better marketing. You know, because a lot of the stuff from the past, let's say 20 years, have been very negative. About Muslims in the media. I can't imagine why. I don't know what started that. I don't know why the media would look at Muslims, especially in other countries, as in a negative light. There's no reason why I can think that started. It just spontaneously sort of happened, and yeah. So. I think it's time to rebrand Ramadan in terms of girl bossing. Let's bring Islam into this sort of new age that's sort of coming around, especially in media, where it's all about inclusivity and this diversity that's fake but gross. That's kind of gross, and it's fake, I guess, a little bit, but it's definitely really gross. It doesn't as a minority who was in the sort of system, it doesn't necessarily feel like I'm being seen. I remember, going to meetings at Comedy Central and having ideas for shows, but they were like, no, we don't care about your ideas. We want your story. And I was like, I'm more than my story. My ideas, even if they're not my story directly, aren't they me? And then they were like, whatever. And nothing ever came of them. But, in an effort to give back to my community, I just, girl boss Ramadan, dude. That's super important to go out there and girl boss Ramadan. Let's shift the narrative. Let's shift the narrative from in the media from ICE, like instead of Muslims or ISIS or whatever, you know what I mean? Like what they say about us at our worst. Instead of that, let's just try to get the narrative. Like, look at these Muslims girl bossing. Look at them girl bossing, dude. Even the guys. Kyrie Irving, what a girl boss. He's out there playing in the playoffs, fasting. That's all pro girl boss. Hall of Fame girl boss, dude. Muhammad Ali, girl boss. Malcolm X, girl boss. Nation of Islam, more like Nation of Girl Bosses, dude. It's time. You know what? Islam needs this rebrand, and I'm gonna be the one to sort of push it. It's time to you know what, brown people who listen to this, who don't listen to this, because I don't really connect with the brown community like that. I feel it's time to girl boss Ramadan. During iftar, when you break fast, iftar, I said it like that for like an asshole. But when you break fast, you know what you do? You pray. At the end of your prayer, instead of going Ameen, you go girl boss. End our prayer by being no. You know what? No, sorry. Instead of going Ameen, you go Yas Queen. That's what you do. End every prayer with Yas Queen. It's time. It's time. I'm here. This is basically the soft. This episode is the soft launch of of Islam's sort of new marketing scheme. We out here girl bossing. No one asked me for this, but I think it's very important that we nail this for the sake of our religion. You know, as someone who's not that religious, I can look at it kind of from 1 foot in, 1 foot out point of view. It's like, bro, we they already kind of like, anytime you sort of criticize Muslims on social media, like there's always like, you're being Islamophobic, and it's like, I mean, there is some criticism to be laid on the fact that like people murder people for like drawing the Prophet Muhammad, which I'm not saying is like a good thing. I'm just saying like, Islam in the Western world, you gotta understand like free speech. You know what I mean? Like you gotta learn to shake it off. But you can't say that because that's Islamophobic. It's like no. There is some things that like, that need to be modernized in that way. It's still a younger religion, and they just got to realize like, bro, if you in the West, you got to shake it off. If you in the Middle East, and or in a heavily Muslim country where that thing's forbidden, well, hey, don't do that. But if you're in the West, you got to shake it off. You got to shake it off. There are genuine criticisms about Islam, and it's interesting about how like I'll make a joke about being Muslim on stage, and I posted on TikTok once. The only video on TikTok that I had to take down immediately because they found my address in like 20 minutes, and they're like, "Is this you? We're gonna And they're like, "Oh my God!" I was like, "Oh my God, you can't even make jokes." And it's like, hey, modernize a little bit. Dude, everyone makes jokes about Catholic priests all the time. And you know what they do? They don't listen and keep fucking kids. So just do what you do and don't worry about the jokes that are coming your way. It's so funny to be like, oh, this is a religion of peace. But anyone who makes a joke will respond with violence. And I know that's not most Muslims. Obviously, I'm not one of those Muslims. But there is a fair amount. And it's like, just modernize a little bit. Girl boss Islam, dude. That's the rebrand for Islam. Everyone out here, we girl bossing. Now, in certain Muslim countries, will we actually let girls be bosses? Hell no. In Saudi Arabia, all the girl bosses are men, for sure. But that's the rebrand. We girl bossing Islam out here. I think I'm onto something. I could be wrong. But yeah, you just gotta, I'm just saying, the only thing that's holding Islam back, honestly, is their inability to take a joke sometimes. But I get it. You come after certain people. If you come after certain people, they will respond with violence. If you come after certain people, people respond with violence. It's not even common. If you make jokes about certain people, they will respond with violence. Isn't that wild? Isn't that interesting? I don't know what in my room made me think about that. But sometimes when you tell a joke, people respond with violence. And if they respond with violence, that means you hit some truth deep down in their soul that they did not like to see. Because if you tell a joke and people are secure with themselves, you know what they do? They laugh at the joke. If they are insecure about themselves, they respond with violence. I don't know what in my room made me think like, oh, there's something to this. But, yo, when people are insecure and you make a joke, violence is definitely there. And so I guess any sort of like extremist Muslims that respond with violence, there is a deep insecurity, something in there. Because I think you want to believe the position that you're in is unassailable. And if someone assails it, the only thing to respond back is with violence. But if you attack the thing that someone is insecure about, they may slap the shit out of you on national television and then get an award after. But dude, you do something that's insecure, people will respond with violence. Or if you get, they can. Not all the time. A lot of people just shrink away if they're insecure, but some people, i.e. the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, will come at you. This is the painting. Of course, if you're not watching this, that joke I just made, that whole stretch was great visually. But I brought up this painting made for me of Chris Rock by oh my God, he's Chris Rogers. Oh my God, sorry, Chris Rogers, great artist. Drew me on the wall of the Vulcan. Follow him at Chris Rogers Art. I haven't hung this up yet, but I'm thinking, hold on, just taking a look at it in the shot. Boom. Right behind me right here. I think that's a good spot for it. So I'll go do that later this week, but in time for the next episode for sure. But yes. People will respond with violence. I got that, by the way. I got the picture of Chris Rock commission. I got that commissioned like 3-4 months ago. And I was like, because Chris did a painting for Derek of Steve Harvey. And I was like, oh, bro, can you do Chris Rock? And he was like, yeah, and you can have it. So he did Chris Rock for me. And this was like 4 months ago. And he painted it a while ago. And then he was doing his finishing touches. He was doing his arty stuff to it. You don't when there's a great artist, you don't question the process. And Chris Rogers is a great artist. So I didn't question the process. And then he was like, it's done. I'll give it to you next week. He was supposed to give it to me last Thursday. Couldn't do it. Had something came up. So he was like, I'll give it to you sometime next week. In between the Thursday and that week, Chris Rock got slapped. He was supposed to give it to me 2 Thursdays ago. He got slapped. And then I got it. So it's like, yo, I'm in tune with something to the universe. That's how I feel. Like me and the universe, there's some timing that we're all about. We're girl bossing. I'm out here girl bossing. Chris Rogers, to give me this picture of Chris Rock the week after he got slapped, the way that worked out. Chris, even though Chris Rogers isn't Muslim, or I don't think he is, who knows actually, but I don't think he is girl bossing, dude. Anyone who's girl bossing that's what we want to do. We want anyone who's girl bossing to technically be called a Muslim. We want to take it. We want to come in and claim girl boss. This is the time for us. But yeah, crazy. I got this the week he got slapped. Insane. Love it. So I'm gonna put it up right here. I think that's a solid place for it as the sort of home studio expands. But yeah, we out here trying to girl boss. All right. So there's that. Damn, what 20 minutes in? What else happened this week? Oh, I mean, I guess I can still keep talking about Ramadan. You know what the hardest part is? The hardest part of Ramadan is I've finally gotten into a schedule, a groove. Right? I was working out 3 times a week, and I realized one day, and this is sort of the modern Muslim take, and this is me not being like a great Muslim, but I've never been a great Muslim, but I go to yogas. I go hot yogas every Wednesday. I think Wednesdays I'm going to keep doing that because I need to do something active. because it's hard because I'm not playing basketball. I'm not going to the gym. Like I was in the thing where I was working out 3 to 4 times a week. I was getting in the groove 3 to 4 times a week. You got to cut that. Because you can't work. I can't work. I personally, I'm so small and tiny that I can't work out hard during Ramadan. I played pickleball last year. I remember I talked about this, and I remember to remind Derek. Remember to DM Derek and remind him that I beat him in pickleball last year. But I played pickleball last year, and I almost passed out because I went too hard, and I just wasn't thinking. I'd be like, oh, I think I'll be fine. But even though it was in the middle of Ramadan, I think I'll be fine. I was not fine. So it is what it is. So Wednesdays, I think it's like I got to stay some kind of active during all this because it's like I don't want to lose all the good progress. But that's a sort of thing I made, and I know there's a lot of people who hear that's gonna think I'm weak, and I have to be okay with that. And you know what? I am okay with that. So suck on that. That's part of my girl bossing, dude. Is I believe in my process, and so yeah, you gotta work out. You gotta fucking just sort of make these, I guess, I don't know, sacrifices. I don't know. It's just like the routine. Every morning I start with coffee, and I haven't had coffee in 3 days, and it's on my mental. It's playing on my mental. Like it's like, oh, okay, I'm like really tired right now because I didn't get the thing that I start my day with. I am really tired right now because I didn't get the thing that I start my day with. The thing that I'm so used, the thing that my body, the drug, straight up the drug, dude. Caffeine's a drug, and it's fine. It's an okay drug, but it's a drug, and the drug that I start my day with, I'm not getting, and I'm starting it so tired. The second day, so this is day 4, right? Day 2, I straight up pretty much slept in the whole day. It was a lazy Sunday, so it made it kind of easy to do that, but that's pretty much all I did is I slept. Because I was tired the whole day. It felt like I was hanging out with a friend for a little bit, and she said it felt like I was a zombie. She's like, it feels like every time we start talking, you're constantly fading. Because we also were an idiot and like went outside, and yeah. But it was like, there was a walk involved. But, girls always want to be, women always walking and shit. But, there was a walk involved. And then the whole conversation, she was like, it feels like you're fading. And I was like, yeah, I am. And it was like, one, because obviously I wasn't getting water and eating. But on top of that, the no water, no eating, no energy input, no coffee. It's like a biological alarm clock to drink coffee. I'm not really up until I have that cup of coffee, and I didn't have it. And then I can feel like, the withdrawals from coffee are interesting. Because they are withdrawals. You are weaning, because I didn't wean myself off a drug. I'm stopping cold turkey off probably the most addictive drug that everyone does. Coffee is by far the most addicting drug that everyone does. I guess, is it more addicting than nicotine? Because like everyone smokes cigarettes, pretty much, or vapes. Not me. I pretend to act like I'm better than you. I don't smoke nicotine. But I guess which is more addictive, caffeine or nicotine? Let me look this up. I'm curious. What's more addictive, caffeine or nicotine? That's actually a good question. Which is more addictive? I'm looking at Grind's blog. So you already kick your addiction. Nicotine. 80% of the developed world develop coffee. Yes, obviously. Clears caffeine. Caffeine, according to the DSM, the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, caffeine addiction is cleared as being dangerous, cleared from being dangerous because most people are able to maintain their usual responsibility and doesn't pose a significant health risk. Yeah, I mean I get that because I could do besides the working out right now. If I were to regularly outside of Ramadan, if I were to get off caffeine, I could just do everything I was doing. So that is nice. But I guess the withdrawal for caffeine isn't that bad. So I guess nicotine is a little more addictive because the withdrawal is actually way worse getting off it. Caffeine, the withdrawal is like I'm just irritable and I get, it's probably easier for me to get headaches. I can just feel a little more lightheaded. And I think that's because just I'm not in it mentally. Like the focus isn't there. But no, so I guess nicotine is more addictive. But caffeine is everyone, like 80% of the world is depends on it. It's that good old capitalist juice, dude. That capital juice. So, God, some of it's so good. I go to a place called Buzzmill, and that I just like, now that I can't have it in the morning, I just dream of it. Oh, man, the smell. I can smell the smell. The drink I get is called a flapjack. It's a specialty drink. And, I can just smell it. I'm going to talk about that on stage, Ramadan, and I can't drink coffee right now. And then, I still remember the thing about fucking Thai iced tea I riffed last time. The joke for that is now, so this would be the joke, and you might hear it on stage. I haven't done it on stage yet, but there's a couple mics maybe I'll do tomorrow, and I'll try it there. But the joke is that so the coffee shop near my house, I get a lot of Thai iced tea, and if you don't know what Thai iced tea is, it's a tea that like when you see it you're like, damn, that looks like some good tea. It's got a pretty face, a beautiful body, and then you take the tea home and you find out it has a penis, and that's Thai iced tea. Really short joke. I don't know how hard it's gonna hit. I think it might hit super hard because of how stupid it is, or it could just get a chuckle and it's a joke that won't stay in my act for a while. Like, I guess you don't know, but sometimes there are these like, that's almost a one-liner. It's close to being a one-liner maybe. See that yawn? That's the no coffee yawn. I could cut the setup a little bit, but stuff like that, it'll either get a chuckle and be like, well, there's nothing really deeper to that joke. There's no like really deeper Thai tea thought behind it. In my mind, the thought was, it'd be funny if Thai tea was like their ladyboy situation. That's it, right? So it's either gonna hit big, and then all of a sudden I have this sort of small non sequitur joke in my act, or it'll get a chuckle and it's an idea that I like doing, and that maybe I'll fit one day in an overall bit about coffee. I could think of that. There's a lot, like, I obviously have a lot to say about coffee. It's very interesting. I used to have this joke about how Starbucks is cool because it's one of the few places where you can customize your drugs. Like, you can legally go and customize and make designer drugs. Right? There's nothing for crack. There's no Starbucks for crack. It's not like you can walk into a storefront and be like, yeah, can I get the LA crack with 2 pumps of gasoline? Like, there's none of that. Weed stores are cool, but you can't customize your drugs on site like you can at Starbucks or coffee shops, obviously. So I mean, that's the cool thing about coffee, is that it's a natural drug that you can make a kind of you can treat as a designer drug. I can't think of any other places you can just really do that, really play. You know what I mean? You can't get a caramel heroin macchiato, you know? That you know. Damn, dude, I miss coffee, man. I miss coffee. That's the thing I miss the most. I'm like 4 days in, I'm already complaining that I miss coffee. It's just also, it's such an acquired taste, too. Because I remember the first time I drank coffee, and I'm not a black coffee drinker. No, I always get an iced vanilla latte because I'm a Muslim girl boss. So, um, but like I love it now in a way that like I can drink black coffee too. It's not that big of a deal. But I remember the first time I tasted black coffee, I was like, this is awful. This is gross. And now I'm like, coffee. Now I need it to start my day. Capitalist juice, baby. It's the juice that coffee, the juice that makes sure you produce. If they ever needed to sell coffee, that's the crazy thing. That's not a bad slogan, but it's like you don't need to sell coffee. Coffee is something that sells itself to you once. The first time you have it, and then you're like, oh, I'm awake, or I'm up, I'm focused, I'm doing what you're like, oh, okay, this is it. You don't need to sell coffee no more. I don't see. Are there any ads for coffee? I guess there definitely is. The best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup. Isn't it crazy that the Folgers lady was killed by the Manson family? The best part of waking up is a cult committing a murder. Or like the heir of the Folgers fortune. The heir of the Folgers fortune. Dude, if you're the heir of the Folgers fortune, you're the most awake person ever, right? Dude, this Folgers girl is awake, dude. We out here trying to girl boss, dude. So yeah. So the Thai iced tea thing, it's not, unless there's unless there's an overall coffee bit, that's probably going to be a one-off, and I really truly doubt it's going to make a difference. Let's see here. Let's look at the news. A lot of shootings are back, baby. Shootings are back, yo. Will Smith smacked Chris Rock, and it reminded America that we can mass shoot. Shootings are back, America. That's how you know we're truly over COVID. There was like 3 mass shootings this weekend. Congrats, America. We did it. Yeah, one in Sacramento. So clearly, obviously, what do you do here? What's the answer to mass shootings? Is there an answer? Was it 6 dead, 10 injured in Sacramento? California has gun control laws. It's not like gun control would be better. I think it was felons who shot that up. So what's the answer? There was a shooting in Texas over the weekend as well. Because as much as you want to be good guy with a gun, bro, there's no way in that situation. Let's say you were in Sacramento and you're a good guy with a gun and it starts popping off. You're not going to enter the fray shooting people because you don't know what's going on. Also, if you're shooting by the time cops get there, you're going to die. Cops aren't going to be like, oh, that's a good guy with a gun and that's a bad guy with a gun. They're not going to know. So what's the answer? I think the only answer is everyone has to fuck each other. That's the only answer, dude. Everyone has to fuck each other. Because that way we'd be like, oh man, I can't shoot up the school. I fucked all these people. And that would just, like, fuck. I have this connection. I think that's the only answer at this point. That's the only thing left. Is that we just gotta fuck. Everyone's just gotta fuck everybody. But, I'm sorry. Even people of the same gender, same sex, you just gotta fuck everybody. Because what else? UN or warns Earth firmly on track towards an unlivable world. Yep. Yep. It feels like that. It feels like that. That's why I think that's why everyone should do Ramadan, because it's like you got to be prepared for this sort of apocalypse that's coming. You have to be prepared to go long stretches without regular food. Prepare yourself. It's like preparing. This is a like Ramadan used to be when I was a younger kid, like just a spiritual thing. But now it's we gotta prepare ourselves for the future thing. Like now it's beyond just religion and what do you believe and what God do you follow. No, it's about like, yo, are you prepared for what's about to happen? So that's my pitch for everyone to do Ramadan. Really, it's like you gotta be like, yo, you gotta look around and be like, this ain't good. It was like it's 90 degrees in fucking, what is it, early April. Dude, I can't imagine how hot this summer is gonna be. And I don't live in like South, dude. If you're a poor person in the Middle East, you're for sure gonna die soon, for sure. You lazy pieces of shit. That's what your leaders who are doing Ramadan are telling you are right now. Leaders who are so tired. So tired. Okay, let's see what else. Exxon signals record quarterly profit from oil and gas prices. Dude, for sure. For sure. Okay, maybe not for sure. Metaphorically, someone needs to, take all these oil and gas executives and Russian revolution them. Metaphorically, not literally. I'm not saying literally, wink, wink, but metaphorically, they need to get Russian revolutioned. That's all I have to say. Insane. Of course, Exxon recorded record gas prices. They gouged us. They fucked us. And someone metaphorically needs to get back at them. Creepy AI reconstructs your portrait based on only your voice. Yeah, dude, AI is going to destroy us. Michael Bay, I don't care about Will Smith when babies are getting blown up in Ukraine. Shut up, Michael Bay. Get the fuck out. Oh, are you the moral stance guy? Shut up, Michael Bay. Just make your bad but fun to watch movies, and no one give. Babies are being blown up in Ukraine. You didn't say shit when we were blowing up Iraqis, did you? Dude, shut up. Tired of these billionaire, multi-hundred millionaires just giving me their opinion on stuff. Because, no, I don't give a clearly, the Will Smith slap is so important. No one talked about Ukraine the next day, and there's war crimes happening over there. To pretend it's not important or you don't have an opinion on it is nuts, dude. Everyone has a take on it. Everyone has a take on it. I think my take is good. I'm saying my take on stage, and I've heard no one else say it, but so I'm, fingers crossed. I think I said it on here. I said it on Spill the Beans, but I might have said it on here, how they need to make a Get Out 2, but instead of the main character being stuck with a white family, he's stuck in a marriage with Jada Pinkett Smith. That's the take. And then I go on from there, and then I also talk about how the slap is bigger than 9/11 and bigger than COVID. That's my take. My take is that the slap is the biggest thing that's ever happened. So of course it's more. You know how I know it's bigger than Ukraine? Because like I said earlier, no one talked about Ukraine the next couple days after the slap happened. It's not bigger than Ukraine is not bigger than that. I'm sorry. Elon Musk to join Twitter board of directors. Elon Musk, bro, figure out the climate. Help us out, dude. Help us out. AI imaging tool really checks x-rays without the involvement of radiologists. Nice. AI is getting so good they're putting doctors out of duty. That's crazy. Amazon and Starbucks unionize, which is good for them, kind of. We need something. We need a okay. This reminds me of the time I've talked about this in an old episode. You gotta find when I was living at home about we need a Teddy Roosevelt type leader to come in and break up these giant corporations. When you do somehow use these antitrust laws that Roosevelt set up and break up these corporations. It's insane. The stranglehold they have over American life is ridiculous. They're ruining the country. And they gotta be punished for it. And someone's gotta take them out. But the problem is we don't have any strong leaders in this country. We really don't. We really, really don't. Who is a strong leader that's gonna take on corporate interests? I don't think that exists out here. I really don't. God knows Biden and Trump definitely aren't. Biden and Trump both have the corporations' balls so deep down their throat. There is zero way that they'll take them on. So this next election, I'm not voting. I am not going to be complicit in the destruction of our country. It's whatever. I'm done voting for the lesser of two evils. I've said that before. I'm done. Oh, but my guy, shut up, dude. If the choice is between Biden and Trump, the choice is between the lesser of two evils. And if you believe in any other way, you're delusional. So I'm not going to vote. I'm abstaining from the presidential vote again. Give me an option that's semi-palatable. We had Trump, and then this guy, the Biden won because we're like, oh, he's not Trump, and now Trump's gonna win because like, oh, he doesn't have dementia. Like, dude, I don't give a fuck. I'm not voting for this anymore. I'm out, dude. You won. Hey, billionaires, you won. You made the political system such a circus that it's not even worth it to vote. Congrats. There's just another thing you have. I just really hope they just remember. I hope God exists just to punish them. I really do. And that's on me. That's me, girl boss. That's my girl boss Ramadan quote of the day. I hope God exists just to punish these billionaires in the afterlife. I really do. But you know, let's see if there's any other news here. Zelensky, a lot of Zelensky stuff, and all right, I'm fine. That's enough news. We did enough. I'm getting tired. Just you know, because I'm out here girl bossing, and that gets tiring. I'm gonna go. I want to watch a movie that's gonna take my mind off a lot of stuff. I'm gonna go do that after I upload the video. But dude, thank you guys so much for joining me this week. If there's anyone fasting during Ramadan, congrats on being a girl boss. And if you haven't done Ramadan, I would consider at least even outside of the religion doing it once, just because you have to be prepared for the impending apocalypse. So, thank you guys so much for listening. I'll see you guys next week. Love y'all. Later, infidels. Bye.